On Monday, the 3rd of January 1944, Raymond, an agent of the Comet Escape Line, was waiting for Micheline at the entrance to the underground passage at the Place Rogier in Brussels. She soon appeared, a slight girl with the face of a child. Intelligence and malice twinkled in her eyes. She was dwarfed by her two companions, both RAF pilots, making her seem even smaller than her 5 feet. They all passed unobserved in the bustling crowd. Micheline, her kids, safely delivered, disappeared. This episode, cited by Colonel Gilbert Renault in his 3-volume History of the Comet Line, illustrates the work undertaken by Micheline Dumon, known as Micheline, or Lily, who has died aged 96. Founded by André de Jong in 1941, the Comet Line helped hundreds of British and American airmen escape from occupied Belgium. Once they had been located by Comet agents, the airmen had to be clothed and hidden until they could be shepherded to neutral Spain to make their way back to England. Dumon's girlish appearance and timid manner were a perfect cover for her to travel undetected. When asked how she managed to escape arrest, she told George Watt in his book The Comet Connection: Escape from Hitler's Europe 1990, "I knew a lot of people and moved around a lot. I never stayed in one place and so I was always alone. Also I was lucky." She arranged shelter and provided guides for departures to Spain, as well as creating false identity papers for the airmen, whose numbers rose as the concentration of raids over Germany increased. When her position in Brussels became too dangerous, she carried on her work from Paris, escorting the airmen herself from Brussels to Paris, then by train to Bayonne and across the Pyrenees on foot to Spain. She described one journey in February 1944, "Crossing the mountains was very tough. We had to walk for 2 entire nights and I just couldn't go any further as the snow was so deep." Born in Brussels, Dumon spent her childhood in the Congo, where her mother Marine Plessis taught her and her younger sister, André, at home. Their father, Eugene Dumon, was a doctor. The family returned to Brussels in 1928 and the girls attended a local school. Dumon was training as a nurse when the Germans occupied the city. Her father's work with the Belgian Red Cross led him to learn of the presence of Allied airmen, and he set out to help them escape. His wife, Marie, codename Françoise, and André, known as Nadine, were soon also involved. Micheline, who was aware of their resistance work, was living away from home when her grandfather came to the hospital in August 1942 to tell her that all 3 had been arrested. She immediately went into action, cleared the family home of all incriminating evidence, and stepped into her sister's shoes, escorting airmen to safety. The Comet Escape Line was repeatedly infiltrated by German spies, leading to sweeping arrests, and in January 1943 de Jong was arrested. In March the following year, Dumon traveled from Madrid, where she had been liaising with the British Secret Service MI9, to Bayonne, where another Comet agent, Elvire de Greef, codenamed Tante Go, ran safe houses. De Greef told her that the line was again compromised. Undeterred, Dumon traveled to Paris, discovered who had betrayed them, recruited new members, and procured housing so Comet could carry on with its work. During her next trip to Madrid, in May 1944, however, she was told she was burnt. She arrived in London the following month, where she continued to be involved in the secret services. In 1945, she married Pierre Hugo, a major in the French section of the Special Operations Executive, who had been assigned to her. Dumon's mother, Marie, was released from the St. Gilles prison in August 1943, the day her husband and daughter were deported to Germany. Eugene died in 1945 in Grossrosen camp in Silesia. André was taken to Ravensbrück and then to Mauthausen. She returned to Brussels in May 1945. Those working the Comet Line saved between 700 and 800 airmen. Dumon was awarded the George Medal by the British and the Gold Medal of Freedom by the U.S. After the war, she helped to ensure that all those who had participated in the Comet Line gained official recognition from Belgium. She was president for several years of the Amicale Comet, the group for former Comet agents, and organized a trip to the US and Canada reuniting those who had been saved with their rescuers. Pierre died in 2009. A passionate motor racing enthusiast, he was president of the Commission Sport of International 197,678, the governing body of Formula One motor racing, which later became the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile. Dumon is survived by 2 daughters, Nicole and Bridget, and a son, Guy. Another son, Stefan, predeceased her. Micheline Dumon, resistance agent, born the 20th of May 1921, died the 16th of November 2017.